Commander Dejin stood at the window of the Earth Fleet Command Center, looking out at the vast darkness of space. The stars shimmered like tiny diamonds scattered across black velvet. Humans had always looked at the sky and wondered what was out there. But now, for the first time, the galaxy knew humans were not just curious observers. They were fighters. Admiral Heijun walked in beside him, his steps measured and calm. Dejin, the Council thinks we are weak, unprepared. They believe Earth cannot defend itself. They are wrong, he said. His voice carried a quiet confidence that filled the room with a sense of purpose. Lieutenant Mireille was already at her station, her fingers flying across the holographic controls. Her eyes reflected the flickering lights of the screens, analyzing movement patterns of the Council fleets. Commander, we have intercepted new transmissions. They are planning a strike on our outer colonies. They think we will surrender. Dejin's jaw tightened. He had expected this, but now the moment of decision was here. Then we strike first, he said, his voice firm. We show them that humanity does not wait to be destroyed. The room grew tense. Every officer knew that this first move would set the tone for the war to come. Earth's fleet was strong, but no one had fought the Galactic Council before. The galaxy had always seen humans as small, weak, and irrelevant. That perception was about to change. On the hangar deck, engineers prepared the fleet's warships. Ships that had spent decades hidden in secret bays were now ready for action. Railguns were loaded, energy shields activated, and cloaking systems powered up. Soldiers in suits of reinforced armor moved quickly, checking weapons and equipment. Among them, Sergeant Hygiene made sure every crew member understood the importance of their mission. Remember, this is not just a fight for survival. This is a message. Humanity is strong. Humanity is united. As the fleet moved into orbit, the first wave of stealth ships departed silently, slipping past patrols and sensors. Dejin watched the screens, his mind mapping every possible scenario. He knew the Council had spies in the galaxy, but they would not expect the precise and coordinated strike that humans were preparing. The galaxy was filled with advanced species, but none had the stubbornness and resourcefulness of humans. The first targets were supply stations and communication arrays along the edges of the Council's influence. These strikes were designed to create confusion and fear. Each hit was precise, and human ships slipped away before the Council could react. On board the command ship, Mireille monitored the results. All targets hit. Damage significant. The enemy is scrambling. Dejin allowed a small smile. The Council had underestimated human capability, and now that mistake would be costly. The first strike was just the beginning, a demonstration of what humans could do when pushed to defend themselves. Heijun joined him at the window, looking out at the stars. They thought we would hide and surrender, Heijun said softly. They did not know that Earth would fight first. The human fleet moved with a quiet efficiency, striking with speed and precision. Ships communicated through secure channels, every maneuver calculated to minimize loss and maximize impact. Soldiers who had trained for years carried out orders without hesitation. There was no fear in their eyes, only determination and pride. In one of the smaller vessels, Captain Minsuk directed his crew as they approached a supply station. "Steady," he instructed. "Remember your training. We do this for Earth, for humanity. We strike hard, we strike smart, and then we disappear." The attack was over in minutes. Explosions rocked the station, shattering metal and sending debris into space. Minsuk's crew watched from the safety of their shields as their mission succeeded. Communications went out to the rest of the galaxy, warning, "Run while you can. Humanity is awake, and we will not be stopped." As the fleet regrouped, Dejin reflected on the enormity of what had just happened. The Council had treated humans as insignificant, but now every corner of the galaxy would hear of Earth's power. Humans were no longer the ones who would hide or wait for orders. They were fighters, strategists, and survivors. Back on Earth, civilians watched the events unfold through secure transmissions. Fear mingled with awe as people realized their species had taken control of its destiny. Children looked up at the night sky differently now, imagining the brave humans fighting among the stars. Families hugged each other, knowing that this was only the beginning, but proud that humanity had stood its ground. Lieutenant Mireille continued her calculations, predicting the Council's response. "They will send fleets to retaliate," she said, "but they will not expect our tactics. They will not expect the unity and determination of humans." Dejin nodded. "We will meet them with everything we have, and we will win." As the first part of humanity's strike ended, the message was clear across the galaxy. Humans were no longer weak. Earth had awakened, and the fleet that emerged from the shadows carried a warning for all who would challenge them. The Council had underestimated humanity, and that mistake would be remembered. The war was just beginning, and humanity was ready to fight. In the dark reaches of space, the Council scrambled to understand what had happened. Their intelligence underestimated humans, and their forces were unprepared for such a coordinated strike. Across the galaxy, whispers of the Earth fleet spread, and fear began to replace arrogance. Humans were no longer the species to be ignored. Commander Dejin stood once more at the window, watching the stars. The silence of space was broken only by the hum of the fleet's engines. He knew that the coming battles would be hard, that losses would be inevitable, but humanity had shown that it would not run. It would strike first and strike with purpose. The fleet moved forward, leaving a trail of warning behind them. "Run while you can," the galaxy would remember. For humanity, the time of hiding was over. The time of action had begun, and Earth's fleet was ready for whatever the Council would send next. The human fleet moved swiftly through the dark stretches of space, cloaked and nearly invisible to the sensors of the Galactic Council. Commander Dejin was on the bridge of the flagship, watching the small blips of his ships on the tactical display. Each one was part of a plan that had been rehearsed for months. The Council thought they had time, but humanity had already decided to act first. Lieutenant Mireille monitored the enemy's communication channels. Her brow furrowed as she intercepted messages full of confusion and disbelief. "Commander, they are trying to organize a counterattack, but their fleet is scattered. They didn't expect us to strike first." Dejin nodded. "That is exactly what we want. We will make them think the humans are everywhere and nowhere." On the hangar decks, Captain Minsuk and his crew prepared for the next strike. The smaller warships were agile and fast, perfect for hit-and-run attacks. Sergeant Hygiene checked every soldier, every weapon, and every system. "Remember, this is not only a fight for survival, it is a fight for respect. Show them what humanity can do." The fleet approached the first target, a communication hub near a cluster of stars. The Council used these hubs to coordinate fleets across vast distances. Destroying it would delay reinforcements and spread panic. As the ships moved into attack positions, Dejin gave the command. "Fire when ready. Do not hold back." Energy beams and railgun blasts cut through space with precision. The human warships struck key points, disabling defenses and scattering enemy forces. Explosions lit the void as debris floated silently into the darkness. Minsuk's ship weaved through the chaos, avoiding the enemy's remaining fire with practiced skill. All targets hit. "Damage severe," Mireille reported. "They are losing coordination. Their response will be slow." Admiral Heijun spoke over the comms. "Excellent. Continue. Keep the pressure on. Let them know humans do not wait to be attacked. We strike first and strike hard." The Council scrambled ships to protect their supply lines, but the humans had already set traps. Hidden minefields and decoys created confusion. Each alien vessel that tried to attack was met with precise and devastating fire. Human strategy was unpredictable and clever. The Council had never faced an enemy that could combine technology, speed, and cunning in such a way. On one of the smaller assault ships, Pilot Subin maneuvered with expert skill. "We hit them from the side. Their sensors cannot track us all. Keep firing and stay sharp," he said, his hands steady on the controls. Explosions rocked nearby enemy ships, and Subin smiled grimly. The Council had underestimated humans at every turn. In the command ship, Daejin observed the spread of the human fleet. Every ship followed his orders perfectly. Humans had trained for years for this moment, and it showed in their coordination. "They think we are a minor threat," he muttered. "They will learn their mistake soon." Meanwhile, civilians on Earth watched the unfolding events with wide eyes. The human fleet was no longer a distant idea of defense. It was a reality. Families gathered around screens, their voices filled with hope and fear. Children pointed at the sky, imagining the brave humans fighting in space. For the first time, humanity felt a sense of unity and pride that went beyond words. The human fleet continued to push into enemy territory. Each attack was calculated to weaken the Council's ability to respond. Soldiers like Sergeant Hygiene reminded their crews of the stakes. "Every strike we make shows the galaxy that Earth will not be conquered. We are the voice that says, 'Run while you can.'" As the battle intensified, Commander Daejin coordinated a series of flanking maneuvers. Alien ships tried to regroup, but human tactics were fast and precise. Lieutenant Mirai predicted their movements with the help of advanced AI simulations, guiding human ships to intercept and neutralize threats before they could cause harm. Captain Minsuk's squadron intercepted a Council attack force. "Stay sharp. Watch every move," he shouted as his ships dodged incoming fire and counterattacked. In minutes, the enemy squadron was neutralized, leaving a trail of burning wrecks floating silently in space. Across the galaxy, the news of the human strike spread. Small species that had been oppressed by the Council watched with hope and curiosity. Humans had shown that even a species considered minor could fight with intelligence, courage, and determination. Allies could be made, and the balance of power was shifting. Back on the command ship, Daejin reflected on the progress. The first strikes had achieved their goal: chaos, fear, and a clear message to the galaxy. "We show them that Earth will not wait to be attacked," he said. "We strike first, and we strike with purpose." Admiral Haejun stood beside him. "This is only the beginning. The Council will retaliate, but we will be ready. Humanity has awakened. We fight for survival and for honor." As the fleet regrouped, the Council scrambled to respond. Alien commanders could not understand how a small planet like Earth could mobilize such a precise and devastating force. Across the galaxy, whispers of fear began to circulate. Humans were no longer seen as weak or insignificant. They were now a force to be reckoned with. The human fleet pressed onward, leaving behind the remnants of destroyed ships and shattered supply stations. Each strike carried the same message: Earth's humans would not be underestimated. Across the galaxy, the warning spread like wildfire. "Run while you can, for humanity fights back first, and their fleet shows no mercy." Commander Daejin looked out at the stars, knowing that this was just the start. Battles would come and sacrifices would be made, but the human fleet had proven that it could outthink, outmaneuver, and outfight the Council. Humanity had taken its first bold step into a larger galaxy, and there was no turning back. The war had begun, and Earth's fleet was ready to lead the charge. The Council's fleets were in disarray. Commander Daejin watched the holographic map of enemy positions on the bridge of the flagship. The Council had underestimated humans, and now they were paying the price. "Mirai, how long before they regroup?" he asked. Lieutenant Mirai focused on the screen. "Their reinforcements will take several hours to organize. We have time to strike key points and keep them off balance." Admiral Haejun nodded. "We cannot let them recover. Keep pressure constant. Show them that humans do not wait to be challenged." In the smaller attack vessels, Captain Minsuk led his squadron through the asteroid fields near a strategic wormhole. The Council planned to use the wormhole to move ships quickly, but humans had already set traps. Minsuk's crew worked efficiently, checking their railguns and shields. Sergeant Hygiene reminded them, "Stay alert. Every strike counts. This is not just a fight, it is a statement. Humanity will not be ignored." The human ships approached the Council's supply stations again. The first wave had caused confusion, and now they were moving in to exploit it. Mirai calculated attack patterns and predicted enemy movements. "Commander, Their forces are spread thin. We can cut off reinforcements and isolate their fleets. Daejin gave the order. Proceed. Hit every weak point. Make them regret underestimating us. The attacks were precise. Human warships fired energy beams and railguns with perfect accuracy, targeting supply lines and communications arrays. Explosions lit up the dark void, debris floating silently. Minsuk's squadron darted in and out, striking from unexpected angles and disappearing before the enemy could respond. The Council tried to regroup, sending faster warships to intercept, but the humans anticipated their moves. The fleet used decoys and stealth tactics to confuse the enemy. One Council ship would chase a phantom, only to be met by an ambush from hidden human forces. The strategy worked flawlessly, demonstrating human ingenuity and planning. On the flagship, Daejin observed the effects of their attacks. The Council's command structure was struggling to communicate with their scattered fleets. They are losing coordination, he said. Continue. Show no mercy. This is the moment humans are remembered. Pilot Subin maneuvered his ship with precision through the chaos. We strike from the side. Watch every move. He fired railgun blasts at approaching enemy ships, taking out multiple vessels with calculated shots. His crew cheered quietly as their plan worked perfectly. Meanwhile, on Earth, the civilian population watched transmissions of the attacks. There was a mixture of fear and pride. Families held each other as images of human warships striking across the galaxy filled the screens. Children looked up at the night sky with new hope and imagination, seeing the brave humans fighting for their planet. The human fleet continued to strike, cutting off enemy reinforcements and isolating pockets of Council forces. Lieutenant Mirai guided every move with AI predictions, ensuring maximum efficiency and minimum risk. The human ships moved with the precision of a well-coordinated dance, leaving destruction in their wake and confusion among their enemies. Captain Minsuk's squadron encountered a Council fleet trying to regroup. Hold your positions and fire at the weak points, he ordered. The squadron attacked simultaneously from multiple angles, overwhelming the Council ships and forcing them to retreat. The human warships moved quickly, ensuring that every engagement ended with minimal damage to their own forces. Sergeant Hygiene reminded the soldiers, "Every strike is a warning. The galaxy will remember our actions. Humans are not weak. Humans are fighters." Daejin watched the holographic map once more. The Council's fleets were scattered, supply lines cut, and communications disrupted. Humanity had taken control of the battlefield. "This is only the beginning," he said. "The galaxy has seen what humans can do." Admiral Heijun added, "They will try to retaliate, but humans have the advantage of strategy, courage, and unity. We fight not just for survival, but for respect." The human fleet moved through the dark reaches of space, leaving behind burning wrecks and a trail of chaos. Every strike sent a message to the galaxy. Humanity was not to be underestimated. Across the stars, whispers of fear and awe spread. Humans had shown that even a species thought insignificant could outthink, outmaneuver, and outfight the most powerful forces in the galaxy. Commander Daejin looked out at the stars, contemplating the battles ahead. He knew that the Council would not surrender easily. Future fights would be difficult, with losses inevitable. But humans had proven that they could strike first and strike with precision. The galaxy had learned a new truth. Earth was awake, and its fleet was ready. Humans were fighters, strategists, and survivors, and the warning they carried echoed through the void. Run while you can, because humanity fights back first, and nothing will stop them. The Council's heart of operations was in chaos. Commanders scrambled to understand the human strikes, but every move they made seemed to be anticipated by the Earth fleet. Commander Daejin watched the holographic map on the bridge, noting the gaps and weaknesses in enemy formations. "Mirai, show me the fastest route to their core fleets. We hit them hard and we hit them first," he said. Lieutenant Mirai adjusted the controls. "Their main command ships are in disarray. If we push through now, we can isolate their leaders and weaken their control." Admiral Heijun's voice was calm but commanding. "Prepare all strike teams. This is the moment to remind the galaxy why humans are never to be underestimated. In the smaller assault ships, Captain Minsuk rallied his crew. "We go in fast and precise. Remember, we are humanity's edge," their message to the galaxy. "Every hit counts." Sergeant Hygiene checked the squads, ensuring every soldier was ready. The council thought we would wait. "We strike first and we show them courage and strategy." The fleet moved quickly, cutting through space toward the council's core fleets. Human warships darted between asteroids and debris fields, avoiding enemy sensors. Each vessel had a role: attack, support, or reconnaissance. The humans moved as one, coordinated and unstoppable. Mireille guided the flagship to the perfect position. "Commander, their flagship is exposed. We can board or destroy it before reinforcements arrive." Dejin's eyes hardened. "Do both if necessary. Send the message loud and clear. Humanity does not surrender." Explosions erupted as human ships struck the council fleets with railguns and energy beams. The aliens tried to counterattack, but the human fleet's precision and tactics were overwhelming. Ships that thought they were safe were ambushed from unexpected angles. Humans moved faster, planned smarter, and struck with purpose. Captain Minsuk led his squadron around the enemy's flank, taking out communication arrays and supply lines. "Stay sharp. Their fleet will try to regroup," he warned. Each crew member followed orders flawlessly, showing bravery and skill beyond what the council expected. On the flagship, Dejin coordinated boarding teams. Brave soldiers in reinforced suits prepared to enter the enemy's capital ship. Lieutenant Mireille monitored the enemy's systems and guided the boarding teams. "They are weak in defenses here and here," she said, pointing at points on the holographic display. The boarding mission was successful. Soldiers captured key areas, disrupting the enemy's command. Commander Dejin addressed the council through a broadcast. "Humans fight not just to survive, but to be respected. This is your warning. Run while you can." Across the galaxy, other species watched in awe. Those who had been oppressed by the council saw humans as symbols of strength and hope. Smaller fleets considered alliances with Earth, realizing that humans were no longer a minor species to be ignored. Back on Earth, people watched the transmissions with pride. Families cheered, and children imagined the brave humans fighting in the stars. Humanity had taken the fight to the Council's heart, showing that courage and strategy could overcome even the most powerful foes. The human fleet continued to press forward. Each strike, each maneuver was calculated to maximize impact and minimize risk. Lieutenant Mireille's AI simulations predicted enemy moves with accuracy, allowing humans to anticipate and counter every action. Captain Minsuk's ships intercepted the remaining Council forces, forcing them to retreat. The humans moved quickly, striking hard and disappearing before reinforcements could arrive. Sergeant Hygiene reminded her squads, "Every victory strengthens humanity's voice. Every strike is a warning." Commander Dejin watched the aftermath. The Council's fleets were scattered, leaders isolated, and their core systems damaged. Humanity had delivered a clear message: underestimate humans at your own risk. The galaxy had seen the skill, courage, and unity of the Earth fleet. Admiral Heijun addressed the command crew. "This is only the beginning. The Council may regroup, but humanity has shown its strength. We fight for our planet, for our people, and for respect. The galaxy knows we are awake." The human fleet left a trail of destruction and fear behind them, proving that Earth's forces could strike anywhere, anytime. Across the stars, the Council realized that the humans they had dismissed were a serious threat. Small species, long oppressed, began to reconsider their positions, seeing humans as protectors and allies. Commander Dejin looked at the stars, thinking of the battles ahead. He knew the Council would retaliate, but humans had proven that they could strike first, strike smart, and strike with courage. The galaxy had learned a new truth. Earth was awake, and humanity's fleet was a force to be respected. The warning echoed across space. Run while you can, for humanity fights back first, and nothing will stop them. The Council's remaining forces were retreating, their fleets scattered and damaged. Commander Daejin stood on the bridge of the flagship, watching the stars streak past as Earth's fleet moved through the galaxy. The human attacks had changed everything. Where once humans had been underestimated, now they were feared and respected. Lieutenant Mirai studied the tactical displays. Commander, the enemy is in full retreat. Their communication systems are down. Reinforcements are delayed. We have the advantage now. Daejin nodded. We will not waste it. Prepare all ships for final coordination. We strike where it matters most. Admiral Haejun addressed the fleet through the comms. This is our chance to secure humanity's place in the galaxy. We fight with honor and precision. Remember, we do not fight for destruction alone, but to protect Earth and show the galaxy the strength of humans. Captain Minsuk's squadron moved swiftly, targeting remaining council ships and strategic points. Hold your positions and strike only the key targets, he instructed. We want to weaken them, not give them reasons to fight harder. Sergeant Hygiene checked the squads one last time. Every soldier, every ship is part of this mission. Humanity is counting on us. Move fast, strike hard, and stay sharp. The fleet reached the core of the Council's territory. Human warships struck with precision, disabling command centers and supply hubs. Explosions flared across space as enemy vessels were destroyed or forced to flee. The Council could not believe that humans had advanced so far in such a short time, and their panic was evident in the disrupted communications. Mirai monitored all systems, predicting enemy movements and guiding the fleet. Commander, their flagship is vulnerable. If we take it, we can end this battle quickly. Daejin gave the order. Prepare boarding teams and strike with everything we have. Let them know the cost of underestimating humanity. Brave soldiers in reinforced suits boarded the enemy flagship. They moved quickly, neutralizing threats and taking control of key systems. Captain Minsuk's ships provided cover fire, ensuring that the boarding teams could operate with minimal risk. Explosions rocked the vessel as human soldiers pushed forward, leaving the Council stunned by their efficiency and courage. A broadcast went out across the galaxy. Humans fight not for conquest, but for survival and respect. Run while you can, for Earth will defend itself. The message spread quickly, reaching distant worlds and smaller species that had been under the Council's control. They watched in awe, realizing that humanity had become a force to be reckoned with. On Earth, civilians cheered as they watched transmissions of the battles. Families hugged, tears mixed with pride as they witnessed the bravery of the human fleet. Children imagined themselves among the stars, defending their home planet with courage and skill. Humanity had proven that even a planet once considered weak could rise to challenge the most powerful forces in the galaxy. The human fleet continued to secure key areas. Each action was calculated, each strike precise. Lieutenant Mirai's AI predictions ensured minimal loss and maximum efficiency. Captain Minsuk's squadrons neutralized remaining threats, cutting off the Council's chance to regroup. Sergeant Hygiene's squads ensured that every operation was executed flawlessly. Commander Daejin reflected on the journey so far. The Council had underestimated humans, and their arrogance had led to their downfall. Earth's fleet had struck first, demonstrating courage, intelligence, and strength. Humans had sent a clear message to the galaxy. Underestimate us, and you will regret it. Admiral Haejun addressed the bridge crew. The Council may still resist, but humanity has shown its strength. We fight not for domination, but for survival and respect. We will continue to build our fleet, strengthen our defenses, and ensure that Earth and its people are never again underestimated. Across the galaxy, smaller species began reaching out to Earth, seeking alliances and offering support. The reputation of humans as strategic, brave, and resourceful spread quickly. Where once the galaxy had ignored Earth, now humans were respected and, in some cases, feared. The fleet returned to Earth orbit after the decisive actions, leaving behind a galaxy that had learned an important lesson. Humans did not wait to be attacked. They struck first with precision and courage. The warning echoed through space. Run while you can, for humanity fights back first, and Earth's fleet will not be stopped. Commander Daejin looked at the stars, thinking about the future. Battles would come, threats would rise, but humanity had proven that it could face any challenge. The fleet's success was a symbol of unity, courage, and intelligence. The galaxy would remember this day as the moment humanity announced its presence. Admiral Haejun placed a hand on Daejin's shoulder. We have shown them who we are. Now we prepare for what comes next. Humanity fights not just to survive, but to thrive. And the galaxy will respect that. As the human fleet orbited Earth, the people below celebrated, and the soldiers aboard the ships prepared for the next step. The Council had been warned. Humanity was awake, alert, and ready. Earth's fleet had struck first, and the message was clear. Underestimate humans at your own peril. The stars themselves seemed to shine a little brighter, reflecting the courage and determination of a species that had decided to fight back first and never surrender.